Hey everyone, it's Ms. Spencer. Today we'll be dividing by one-digit divisors with remainders. The objective for today is students will be able to divide two-digit dividends by one-digit divisors with remainders using the partial quotient strategy. Let's start by reviewing some vocabulary. Here we have our division sentence, 24 divided by 6 equals 4. The first number in our division sentence is known as our dividend. This is the total amount of objects that we're splitting up. The second number is known as our divisor. This tells us how many groups we're splitting our objects into, or how many each group will have. The answer to a division sentence is always known as the quotient. So whenever you see find the quotient, it just means find the answer to the division problem. So let's do this problem together. 43 divided by 3. The first step we're going to do is draw a partial quotient symbol. The dividend, which is 43, goes in the center, and the divisor, which is 3, goes to the left. This represents 43 divided by 3. Now we're going to look at the biggest place value in the dividend, which is the tens place. We have 4 tens. So what we're doing is splitting 4 tens blocks between 3 groups. To find out how many each group is going to get, we're going to list our multiples of 3 to see how close we get to 4 without going over. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Oh, well, 6 is already too big. It's bigger than 4. So we're going to go back to our first multiple of 3, which is 3 times 1 equals 3. This gets us closest to 4 without going over. So we're going to list a 1 to the right side of our symbol. But remember, the 4 is in the tens place. So we're not multiplying 3 times 1, 1. We're multiplying 3 times 1, 10. 3 times 10 equals 30. Now we can subtract. 43 minus 30 is 13. Notice now we have a 1 in the tens place. Well, we can't split one tens block between 3 groups, so we're going to look at the ones. In the entire number, there are 13 ones. We can split 13 ones between 3 groups. We're going to continue listing out our multiples of 3 until we get close to 13 without going over. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. Oh, well, 15 is too big. It's bigger than 13. So we're going to go back to the fourth multiple of 3, which is 3 times 4 equals 12. We can list that 4 into the right of our symbol. Because we're looking at 13 ones, we can keep 4 as 4 ones. Now we're going to multiply 3 times 4 ones, which equals 12 ones. We can now subtract 13 minus 12, which is 1. When the number down here is less than the number we're dividing by, which is 3 in this case, we know we're done dividing. The last step is to add up all the numbers to the right to see how much is in each group. 10 plus 4 is 14. And now we want to include the remainder. Whatever is left over in the center here, in this case 1, is our remainder. So 14 remainder 1. Let's try one more problem together. Here we have 94 divided by 4. The first step is to draw a partial quotient symbol. 94 is our dividend, so it goes in the middle, and 4 is our divisor, so it goes to the left. The biggest place value in 94 is the tens place. We have 9 tens, so we're splitting 9 tens blocks between 4 groups. To figure out how much each group is going to get, we're going to list our multiples of 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. Oh, well, remember, we're trying to get as closest as we can to 9 without going over. So 12 is already too big. We're going to go back to that second multiple of 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. That gets us closest to 9 without going over. So we're using the second multiple of 4. We're going to put a 2 to the right of the symbol. But remember, the 9 is in the tens place. So we actually want 2 tens. 4 times 20 is 80. Now we can subtract. 94 minus 80 is 14. Here now we have 1 in the tens place. Well, we can't split one tens block between 4 groups. So we're going to look at the ones. In the entire number, we have 14 ones. So we're going to try to get as close to 14 without going over. 4 times 4 is 16. Oh, that's already too big. So let's go back to that third multiple of 4. 4 times 3 equals 12. So since that's the third multiple of 4, we're going to put a 3 to the right of the symbol. Now 4 times 3 equals 12. We can subtract 14 minus 12 and get 2 left over. 2 is less than 4. When this number is less than our divisor, we know we're done dividing, and this is our remainder. The last step is to add the numbers to the right to see how many are in each group. 20 plus 3 equals 23, but don't forget the remainder. The remainder is 2. So 94 divided by 4 equals 23, remainder 2.